Hello, I'm epikhobo, and I worked on Eighth Wonder in the Ghost Fax Machine project, as we're listening to now. So I guess to get started, I'll just say that I had a lot of fun working on this, and I honestly think it helped me develop as a musician, despite how cheesy it may sound. As of recording this, I think I've had the mostly final version finished for about 4 months. I say mostly final because I did go back to make small adjustments to mixing and little things like that later, but it was basically finished at that point. Looking back, I think one of the main reasons why I picked to cover this song over the others wasn't because it was my favorite or anything like that, but instead because it just had one of the simpler instrumentals, so I felt more confident that I'd be able to handle it because I was still relatively new to making music at the time, which I still am. Also, with the instrumental of the original song compared to the rest of Spiritphone, it seems like it uses more real instruments as opposed to synths, so I thought it'd be an interesting transformation to my style of music, where I only use synths. Speaking about how I thought this instrumental was relatively simple, I just thought it was kind of funny, because when I was finished with my version, I think it was the largest project I had at that point, with close to double the tracks I would normally use, which is why I kind of like working on covers, to see what all goes into some of these songs. I tried to stay pretty close to the original song in terms of the tempo and general organization of the song. Well, I mostly just changed the instrumental to a more distorted electronic version. In the parts like this where the song slows down, I just kinda kept the same tempo in my DAW, which I kind of regretted doing later, as you can kind of tell that the tempo isn't perfect at these points, but I was creating the music alongside the original stems and I didn't feel like finding which tempo it actually changed to at that point in time, which, as I stated earlier, caused a bit of troubles. You can kind of hear it in the drums where they don't perfectly stay on tempo, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think that even today this is probably the most difficult song I've ever sang, for me at least. I think most of my difficulty was because after singing it in my natural voice, which you can hear sounds completely different than my singing one, I re-sang it an octave above what I was comfortable with at the time, just because I liked the sound a lot better. There are some parts where you can kind of hear, especially in the chorus, where I kind of have to change some parts to better suit my voice, just because even though I was trying, there were some things I couldn't manage. But I did try to keep the melodies the same for the most part. I do think my vocal range owes something to this song, as I genuinely believe working on this helped me improve it. I don't really consider myself much of a singer, even though I do sing. I mostly just drown my voice in enough effects to get it how I want, although I was pretty happy with how my singing turned out for this, despite it being far from perfect. This version we are listening to now is actually the second version of the song. I worked on the original one for maybe about 2 months, but then I got new software and decided to restart the song in it. I think it paid off in the end, as I think this version sounds miles better than the original. Just in general, I'm actually surprised at how much I've grown through the course of making this song. I just listened to one of my earliest checkups not that long ago and I cannot believe the improvement. Anyways, we're getting near the end, so I'd just like to thank Josh Face and Demofield for directing the project, as well as congratulate everyone who participated. Good job everyone, we did it.